We're live. Hello, hello, hello. Dion here. Oh, and it's Saturday, and I thought I'd pop in at my usual 1 o'clock slot to say hi and check in and see how you're doing. And I want to ask you a question about your beliefs. And we'll go into that a bit later on. But as you're joining, just say hi. I won't be with you long today. So jump on quickly, say hi. If you're watching on the replay, put replay in so I can see that that you are joining me. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining. I didn't know if you'd be around today. Thanks for coming in. Today, I really want to ask you a very quick question. I want to ask you, do you really believe what I hear you say? Well, I'm going to get into that. But first, some housekeeping. Go ahead and put your name or say hi and tell me where you're watching from in the box. If you have any questions or you want to talk to me, then go ahead and do that too. In all of my videos, you'll see a link saying with my diary link. If you want to talk to me personally, then apply for a slot using the link in the chat box. Okay, so today is Saturday. I really was in two minds about whether to come on today because it's a bank holiday weekend. The sun's shining gloriously over London, and I was really thinking about just having a complete break away from the computer and a complete break away from work. But there's something on my mind that I really want to share with you. And as you're joining, say hi. I can see you watching. You're watching from your garden, Lynn. Very, very nice. I'm about to go out. Like me, my daughter, and my granddaughter are having an afternoon together, so I'm really looking forward to getting out there and soaking up some of that vitamin D. I've been really lacking vitamin D over the dark winter, so I'm looking forward to it. But let's just jump into it. The question that I really want to ask you today is, do you really believe that you can change your world? Do you really believe that you can change your world? This was inspired by a conversation that I've been reflecting on this morning that happened a couple of months ago with a friend of mine who is a director in in the public sector. She's a director in the public sector, and she's new in post. So she's been in post for probably about 3 months now. She left headship from one part of the industry and moved into another director position in the same industry. And we were having a conversation and catching up about how she's getting on. And she said to me, she's just like the job that I just left. What do you say, Lynn? I want to say yes to that question, but there is a bit of a but. There's a bit of a but, yeah. Well, I hear you loud and clear. Let me talk to it. So I'm having this conversation with my friend, and she's in this new role. She's not long in, and we're having a conversation about how she's getting on, and she's saying, it's like it's the same old. I'm just doing the same old thing. And she's in real flow about how, it's not sort of what she expected. She's, having some, she's settling in, but she's really sort of thinking, did I make the right step making this move and all of that stuff? And then she said, as she was flowing, she said this. She said, it's not like we've got any power to really change things. And when she said that, I heard it really loud. What do you mean you haven't got power to change things? You're the head. You're the director. And it really got me thinking, and I've been thinking about it since she said it. It's really got me thinking about how, we can be in this position called headship, in this position called leadership, senior leadership, CEO-dom, directorship, strategic lead, and not really believe that our own targets are possible, not really believe that the things that we have, that we've written on our fancy reports at the end of each year, and the things that we wrote in our funding document to ask for money, that we believe that those things are really possible. So my question again to you today is, do you really believe that those things are possible, that hard things, impossible things are possible, in fact? And as I was thinking about this morning, it got me thinking about some of the impossible things that have come to pass in my own life and on my own journey. And I really want, want to share, this is the story that's in my mind, so I'm going to just go with it. I hope it brings some context. But a few years ago, maybe about 4 years ago, I can't even say it was ages and ages ago in my previous life, like it was very recent, maybe about 4 years ago, I hit a real big financial slump in my business. And then, you know, those times when everything goes wrong, like all of us, everything all at once goes wrong. Well, this was one of those times. And right in the middle of that, my computer broke down, died, not just broke down, it just died. It was on its last legs anyway, but it just died. And I was in a real pickle because I really need my computer to work. A lot of my clients are overseas, you know, I speak to people around the world. I use on the internet to market quite a lot. So when it broke down, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, I was like really distressed and I didn't know what to do. And I'm a praying girl, so I said to God, you know, what's happening? I need this. I need something to happen with my computer. I need a new computer. I need this to be fixed. And I felt this still small voice on the inside of me say, if you want it, move to it. Move to it. Well, I thought, well, move to it. Like, you know my situation. You know I've got much more going out than I've got coming in right now. How can I move towards a new computer? And then there's this still small voice reiterating in my soul, move to it, move to it. And so the first thing that came to my mind to do was to get on Gumtree. So I went on Gumtree and I typed in used laptops or used computers or something like that. And the first thing that came up as I did that was an ad for somebody in my area, which I thought was really spooky. So this ad was for a guy who did used laptops at a reasonable rate, and he lived in my area, like he lived about 2 miles away. It seemed like he was about 2 miles away. So I thought, this is a sign. This is a sign I'm going to get my new laptop. So, but I still knew that I didn't really have money for a new laptop at that time. And so I could feel this voice in my heart saying, move to it. And I could feel my brain saying, it's never going to work. The circumstances aren't right. You haven't got what it takes. Have you ever been in that place where your heart's saying go and your head's saying no? That rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. But you know that place where you're in tug of war on the inside, that you want to go for something, but logically it doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. It's not sensible to go. So anyway, I was in this place, and I made the phone call, and the guy didn't answer. It was a voicemail, and I said, and then he called me back later on when I didn't answer. I got a voicemail back from him later on saying that he'd call me on Monday. So me and this guy, from going from a place of there's nothing I can do about this, now I'm booked to speak with this guy on Monday about getting a new laptop, and I really had no clue how this was going to go, right? So on Monday, he called. I nearly didn't take the call, but we spoke. I said to him, you know, I'm looking for a new laptop. Mine's gone. I need a used one for now until, you know, I want to buy a new one later on, but I'm not in a position to do that now. So I want to get a used one. He said, no problem. I've got loads. He said, come on over. He said, I've got loads. You can look. And so I said, okay, we made a time, right? I was going to go to his house at 11 o'clock. It's literally around the corner from me, walking distance, right? So even closer than I thought. And I set about going to see this guy about my new laptop that I can't afford. So I'm walking up the street, and I'm getting closer to his house, and my heart's going ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. And I'm thinking, this is stupid. Like, where are you going? Why are you going? And my heart's getting louder and louder and faster. I'm shaking. Literally, my knees are knocking as I'm walking towards this man's house. And I knock on the door, and I'm thinking, it's not too late to scarper. It's not too late to turn back. And then he opens the door. And I say, hello, I'm Dion. I've come about the laptop. And he said, I know you. You go to my church. I said, oh, I've never seen you before. So we get talking. He offers me a cup of tea. We start, chewing the cud about church and about, this and that and the other and living in the area. And, oh, I didn't know you were doing this. And I was really getting to know each other. And it turns out that he's a guy from my church. And I feel we click. We instantly click, right? And then I start telling him how I really need this new thing. My laptop's died. I've got meetings set up for this week. Their prospect calls. Their prospect calls. I need to take them, and I can't do it without my laptop. And here's the situation. I don't actually have the money for a laptop. I couldn't believe I said it. I couldn't believe that I told him about the situation that I was in at that time. And he said, no problem. Just like that. He said, no problem. Let's see what we can do. And of course, he gave me a really great PC and he gave me a really great rate. And we organized how I was going to handle the payment. And, and it was done. That afternoon, he was in my house setting up the new PC, it was a PC, setting up the new PC and getting it all handled, loading up a lot of extras on it for me. And I sat back and I thought about that, about how logically I shouldn't have gone for it. I couldn't have gone for it. It didn't make any sense to go for it. I wasn't in the position to go for it. I didn't have what it took to go for it. But listen, I followed that still small voice in my heart and I went for it, and I couldn't believe how well it turned out, better than I could have ever imagined. The moral of the story, can you see what I'm saying about hard things, is that oftentimes we just park our expectations. We put a ceiling on our expectations and we put a cap on what we think is possible. But I don't think we've got that. We don't have that luxury right now. And I really believe that as we move towards difficult things that need to get handled, it doesn't matter. We don't even have to know how. I think it was Martin Luther King that said, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the first step. And my first step in this story was to go on Gumtree. And it just felt like everything just organized itself around my intention to step towards the hard thing. So do you really believe that you can change the world? Do you really believe that you can do hard things and impossible things? Because here's the thing. All it takes is a tiny seed of faith that you can, and a decision to step forward into that hard thing, a decision to take the first step, move towards it, just even if you don't know what's going to happen, even if you don't know how, and things organize themselves. I think it was Henry Thoreau that said, step confidently in the direction of your dreams and forces will work together to help you to be successful. What I'm saying today, go confidently in the direction of hard things that need to change. Go confidently in the direction of things that are no longer tolerable, of changing things that are no longer tolerable. Go confidently, even if you don't know how, even if you don't know what's going to happen or what's it going to cost you, or, too many of us are sitting back saying that's impossible, or it's more than my job's worth, or it's just too risky, or it's not the right time, or blah, 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 blah. I'm saying it's time for us to step forward confidently in the direction of hard things. So what do you think? What do you think of my story? A bit of a vulnerable share there, but I think it's really important for us to recap. In fact, I'm asking you to think about when you've come through hard things, when impossible things happened in your life. If you look back, you'll see them, and let them bolster your faith that hard things can happen, even when you don't know how, because it's not even in our own power, is it? It's not even, there's something really powerful about just setting the intention and stepping towards it. So go ahead and think about your industry, your life, and your leadership. think about the hard things, the impossible things, the things that need to happen now. The things can no longer stay the same, the things that need to change. And remember that it doesn't matter whether you know how to change it or not. The instruction for today is move to it, because you are a world changer. You can change the world. You can do hard things. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today. Let's see if there's any comments. So Anne, I don't know what FFD stands for, but I'm going to call you Anne. I hope that's the right way you want to be addressed. Thank you for joining. It's been lovely having you. Yes, Lynn, tiny seeds of faith do grow powerfully. And, I'm sure if you look back in your history, you can see where that's been absolutely the case. And I'm saying that it's time for us to bring it into our professional lives. Yeah. Okay, so Lynn's watching from her garden. I'm slightly jealous, so I'm going to go and watch from mine now. And I'll see you guys on Monday. So no 1 o'clock live tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. On Monday's the bank holiday, so it'll be another informal show up tomorrow on Monday. And so I'll see you there. Okay, take good care. Bye.